Okay, I figured it out. So I think it was Uncharted 2 and not 3. And because 3 is the one where his brother, they discover he has a brother. What's his name? Whatever. We know he has a brother. But the whole thing was that I stopped it. I stopped the game in the middle and I had to go back to it. And it was a total disaster because I couldn't get out of a certain stage. There was just too much to do. I'm like, how did I do this? Like I was like fighting five or six people. Like those games are crazy. You're like, how am you're like, it's kind of like Ghost of Tsushima. You're like, I can do this. You're like, I can figure this out. I we can big brain out of any situation. But it was so bad and I was so frustrated and I kept picking it up. And like I'd love to tell you that I figured it out eventually, but no, I didn't. I just started over. I said, "Okay, maybe it's best I start over the game instead of sitting here and being frustrated with it and just replaying the same stage over and over and just going on till I'm like, okay, there's probably some kind of mechanic that I'm forgetting." And by the time that I make it to that point in the game, like time well spent kind of attitude. I'm like, okay, and it wasn't a terrible strategy because I actually did. That's kind of how I finished. That's how I beat the game. But I realized I can use the same strategy with reading books because I stopped one of those books. I was reading something very technical. I wouldn't say very technical. I don't know. But at the time it was just melting in my mind like butter, and the butter is not buttering anymore. The toast, I did not put the butter in that window of time where it could just melt. Like that opportunity just flew by, but here we go. So I was thinking I could use the same strategy. I should probably start reading books that are kind of a little easier and more enjoyable, a little more fun. A little, I don't know, but there was a time in my life all I read were just murder mystery novels. But maybe I should just go back to that. But it's if I showed you how if I talked about half the books in my bookshelf, you would think like all this girl reads about is people getting murdered. Like like does she read anything else? So yeah, like I don't know. I think I'm gonna try that. I think I'm gonna try that path.